Hello, happy new moon, Leo, and it is in eclipse, right? We're not gonna be outside. I'm not gonna be outside. We're not able to see this one, right? Let's see. No, we're outside even the partial eclipse zone. So everything's gonna feel normal here. Greenland, Iceland, and northern Spain. All right. All right, guys. Hello, Gigi. Hello, Angel. What's up? Hello, Lisa. Hello, Bernadette. Hello, Rebecca. What's up, guys? All right, I am going to just jump kind of right in and let's see, Aries at 1:11. I'm just doing new moon kind of what you need to know right now, energy, and keep it simple. All right. Aries first. Aries. What do you need to know right now? We are in this new moon eclipse energy. This is going to be, another full eclipse season. A time for healing. Whatever comes up. I'm kind of nervous. I'm like, what's going to come up this season? It could be around money, could be around healing your body image, self-worth, getting your needs met, and even, diet, time for healing certain things that you're allowing yourself to do out of comfort, but it's not really good for you long term. So it could be a time to look at the foods that you eat, the things that you put into your body, a new diet regimen, or just giving yourself space right now, during this eclipse season to heal if you already are grieving something that is pretty difficult in your life, and process and everything that you're going through. All right. Keeping your temper during this time right now. Don't allow anger to rule you. It's easy to get triggered. It's easy when you see other people not really noticing or paying attention to maybe something that you're going through, right? Most people are in their own worlds, kind of figuring out their own path. No matter how many times we say we, notice or pay attention, most people really are, like I said, focused on their things, their stuff. And so people could easily trigger you right now by not showing up on time, not valuing your energy, which is most important, valuing your worth, valuing your time. And as much as it could bring up anger, resentment, this is where time for healing those moments, and realizing that sometimes other people are just going through stuff and they're just not going to be aware or see what you're going through. But your temper, your reaction to a situation, no matter who was right or wrong, a temper, anger reaction always ends up, being, it's your fault. The one who reacts more, the one who loses their shit, even if you had every right, you feel like you're very right. The reaction is always worse, or the consequences are always worse when we lose our temper. So I am seeing the 9 of Swords, and maybe some of you need some good rest. Be mindful of your sleep, shutting down at nighttime, not allowing yourself to ruminate before you go to bed. You just wake up, you dream about the same things that you go to sleep with. So learning to shut things off, unnecessary worry. Tomorrow is a new day, and if you can't finish it today, don't bring it to bed with you. And the next day it's a reset. Forgiving yourself for not being able to get everything done that you said. It's okay to worry about things. It's okay to not always trust or to doubt or to be angry or feel guilty or feel mad. But what I am seeing is that some of you, your anxiety and your frustration really could get the best of you right now. So you are being asked to be mindful of that. Now, the Three of Pentacles is showing me counseling, assistance, therapy, and support from other people. So for some of you, you can't handle everything on your own. It is about seeking support and help from others. Now, anything good coming from this, and I do see the Ten of Swords. You're so close to the finish line. The Nine of Swords, something that is weighing on you so much right now that you're losing sleep over. It'll be resolved during this eclipse, this thing that's going to be different for everybody. And once this difficult period is over, it's done and said. So you are releasing something that's really been taken up too much space in your mind mentally or your life. There could be even a situation that's taken up too much time, stealing your thunder, and that is being released during this new moon, and we set in new intentions. Now, some of you may be needing to look for support when it comes to a problem that you just can't seem to figure out on your own. You are being asked to locally look for somebody that knows what they're doing. All right. Let's see. So Taurus. Good morning. All right, Taurus, we're just looking at some quick messages for this new moon that is squaring you. Let's see what's going on. First of all, have faith in your dreams. All right, you have a time for healing too. This is just going to show up today, I guess, Where are you being challenged, right? Where are you being challenged? It just seems like every day, maybe you can't really plan for consistency. And that kind of, sucks. It's like 1 minute you're like, all right, I got this going on. Today's a good day. And then the next day it's like, it's very challenging. And then if you're going through anything emotional or you're trying to work towards a goal and it just feels like you can't, you're always having to adapt or adjust or accommodate other people's situations and so forth. You are being asked to still have faith in your dreams, and that right now there may be complications that are happening that are out of your hand. And so rest in when there's nothing you can do. Becoming braver, resilience, experience, growing stronger, and fresh perspective. So I do feel like this energy right now is actually testing you. It's new. It's like you're being able to adjust to new ways of thinking, new ways of handling situations, becoming braver and challenging yourself. So remember, if you are challenging yourself in new situations and to step out of your comfort zone and you're fighting to accomplish this next goal in your life, or you're doing something that 10 years ago or 5 years ago you never would have seen yourself doing, give yourself a little bit of grace and love. I mean, you don't have all the answers. You're going through a new experience and you're getting stronger from it, right? So don't lose faith just because life is throwing a bunch of baseballs at everybody, right? It's like, you don't know when the coast is clear, right? It's not going to be right now. And so it's about just adjusting, and, it's challenging us to see how much maybe we really want this. And, what is it that you want, whether it's a person, place, or a thing, it's challenging you. So just 4 swords, a time for healing. When life is just getting to be too much, it's okay to step back and be like, you know, there's the Empress, you know, taking care of yourself, loving on yourself, you know, just a fresh perspective. This is life. And, you know, nothing is that worth it, but yet we make everything so extremely important. I have a 6 of Pentacles for you. So there could be a gift or return, somebody paying back a debt. You know, if you've been feeling like, you know, you've been settling lately, you know, or you've been putting more work in and not getting back in a situation, I am seeing the settle, the dust will settle. Somebody will return the favor. The universe will return the favor. A gift tenfold. Money coming in that'll balance your checkbook. Renegotiating of a plan, you know, so in a relationship, maybe we need to discuss who does what and when, and we need to stick to this plan. We need more consistency. So I see a balance when it comes to the resources you need in life, even though it's coming with its challenges as well too. So hang in there, Taurus. Gemini. All right, Gemini, happy new moon. Getting a quick message for you for this new moon. It's a time to release negativity for you, right? So what are you holding on to? What are you griping about? All right. What's pissing you off internally? You got some deep resentment, deep anger that you're kind of pushing down, trying to act like it's not there. And or doubt seems to be a big one. You know, what are you doubting? Why are you doubting yourself? And, you know, it's the 5 of Pentacles energy, expecting something not to turn out in your favor. You know, things aren't easy. Everybody wants everything so easily. And then whenever we're challenged, it's got to be some horrible negative reason. And so this negative cloud that might be hanging around some of you right now, it's releasing it during this eclipse energy and focusing, you know, this isn't spiritually bypassing, but it is not focusing so heavily on the worst case scenario either. Now, keeping up immense effort and advance. Some of you may be comparing yourself too much to others, and you're not looking at where you're at, right? You're where you're supposed to be. You're doing exactly what you can do, especially if you show up every morning and you say, I'm going to show up today and do everything I possibly can do to keep my life going, right? Just because somebody else might be on a different part of their path, you know, doesn't mean that you need to keep up with somebody else, or you need to judge where they're at to where you're at. Everybody is learning something different. Now, immense effort and advance. So what I also want to say is that if some of you are comparing to others and, you know, you're feeling very negative about where you're at, or you just don't understand why somebody else is doing better, even though you might be applying a lot of effort, you know, you can't attach your worth to numbers, to what people have, to the purchases you have. You can't attach your value to material things, and that, or the 3D reality, what you're seeing going on with other people. It does not define your value. Now, the other thing too is you might be feeling negative that somebody's doing better than you or something's turning out good for other people, but not yourself. But are you putting in the effort to advance? Are you trying to keep up? You know, because that can be a perspective too. It's like we can't just sit back and want what other people have and not do anything to get it. So for some of you, this message could be, you know, keep up with everybody, you know, follow the trend, follow the crowd to a certain extent. You know, it depends on what it is that you're trying, that you feel left behind in, you know. And so this full moon may be advancing you. I mean, this new moon may be making the right steps when it comes to even career, you know, taking the right steps to advance. Instead of worrying about the negative things that could happen, trying to take just one consistent step forward towards a positive thing that you can do. What else do I have for Gemini? Now, I am seeing the Page of Swords, so watch out for messages coming in, you know, people watching you. And remember, you're always being watched. So if you are on social media or you are talking to people or gossiping, make sure you're not being negative, because there could be somebody watching, paying attention to everything that you're saying. There's always somebody kind of watching what's going on. And also be mindful of messages coming in and making sure to slow down and read them a couple times, because if you are coming from a negative mindset, you may read something somebody says to you as being negative when it's not. You may misunderstand something, or somebody may misunderstand you. So Page of Swords can show opportunities too, new opportunities coming in, and applying for it, or talking to somebody, or taking it slow with somebody and communicating, paying attention to communication this week and miscommunication. All right, Cancer. All right, Cancer, looking at the new moon energy for you. All right, communication is key. You have Gemini energy showing up for you as well here too. So we have new moon Leo, eclipse energy, and communication throughout the eclipse, right? So I'm just kind of looking at that energy. And communication is key. Doesn't always mean somebody responding to you when you want them to, or expecting somebody to understand you all the time, every time you talk. It's the way we're communicating with everybody, and it's the way we're reading things, and the way we're listening, and the way we're processing as well too. So sometimes the eclipse is going to be the main focus is on you, not your person. All right. And that's, you know, it's something that's coming up for you. It's something that you're healing, that you're doing. And, you know, we can think about things and see things a certain way, or and think we're right. Most of us, we do. We think we're right all the time. But it doesn't always mean somebody else processes the same way we do. And they may, and not everybody talks about this, you know, when we don't have clarity. Somebody may interpret something you say a certain way. And so asking if and making sure that you are being heard exactly the way you want to be heard, especially if it's something very important. because sometimes people just assume they're hearing you correctly, but they're interpreting it basically in their own perspective, right? And so they're not going to challenge their own perspective either at times. They're just going to assume that they understood you the correct way. And this could bring about issues in communication. And when we see Gemini, we see two different perspectives, and it means we have great conversation, and it doesn't mean we're both wrong or we're both right. It just means that we're not seeing it the same way, right? So this could be one of your biggest things is you may be misunderstanding something, or someone may be misunderstanding you, but mind reading is not going to work during this time period. People understanding what's going on with you, or just showing up and understanding clarity, it's mind reading is not going to work. Now I'm seeing find the lesson. Discover the purpose in a situation and trust that you are learning from something. So if you are being faced with challenges right now, there's a reason for it. And it does seem like the communication is the key. Everything I just said. And it's finding the purpose of a situation. Like, what is the purpose? What outcome are you trying to get? Any kind of situation that you find challenging, or a situation that you're looking, a conversation you're looking to have, make sure you're going into a situation knowing the outcome that you're wishing to achieve, and aim for that. When you have clarity on the outcome that you want from a conversation, you can stay more direct and on point with somebody, and being able to understand why something is so challenging. So trust that some situation that you're in right now is trying to teach you a deeper lesson. Then it's not superficial. It does not feel superficial. All right, let's see the tarot. What else does tarot want you to know? I see the Ace of Swords this week. So right now there is some clarity to be had. All right. And we are seeing clearing up some confusion, making some sort of decision, but wanting to make the right decision based off clarity, not assumptions. All right. So this is most important. Things could be coming up during this eclipse energy, is being able to see through and stay focused on what is important in a relationship or communication with somebody. And we can't go in there blind, not knowing exactly what we're even talking about or what we even want. Right. New start, news coming in, possibly a new contract, and being able to break the ice with somebody as well. Good energy to be able to talk to somebody and not think that your perspective is what's really happening, especially if you have any negative assumptions. All right, Leo, the big one. Who's keeping you in a basement? Hell no. I'm not going to take that as a joke, even if maybe you think it's a joke, but that's not healthy. And I think you should probably not be there. All right, Leo, happy birthday. Be bold and make the first move. All right, this is your time still, your season. And, you know, even the South Node being in your sign, it's like, who were you before life came and took a big dump on you? You know, I love saying that, right? And it's like, you know, sometimes this is so Leo, being bold, you know, and not being afraid to try something new and do something different, even when life is challenging or challenging you or challenging people around you, you know. So love relationship, make the first move, go for it, approach somebody, trying to get out of your career, do it, go for it, you know. Just be mindful, anything that we start is going to be a little bit fumbly at first. We're going to be awkward. We're not going to know everything. We might start from scratch again. We might, you know, lose a little money if we're switching careers and have to let a couple things go, or, you know, or maybe not, you know, but you are being asked to make some big, bold move right now. And I want to be a queen. This so sounds like Leo's reading right now. All right. You know, not trying to be stereotypical here, but I want to be a queen, you know, and declaring freedom, stating your sovereignty, and passing a test, right? You know, you want more. You want to be treated, but remember, queens, you know, you earn it too, you know. So I'm not going to have a battle or discussion over that, you know, but I think of the Empress, you know. The Empress knows her worth, and yes, she receives love, she receives gifts, she, you know, is well taken care of. She worked her ass off to get there. All right, she's earned it. She's, you know, it wasn't just handed over or given to, like, she gives back in a lot of ways. And so this is where, you know, declaring what it is that you really want and going after it and doing it, and making this life happen that you're trying to bring into manifestation. Anything happening this week? You know, maybe some of you freeing yourself from things that are holding you back, that feel restrictive. You know, this isn't what a queen would deal with. This isn't, you know, you want to be a queen, act like a queen, right? You want to be a queen. I like that. Act like a queen, which, you know, own it, earn it, and, you know, receive it. Receive it. To be a queen, you have to know you deserve it and receive it, so you don't have to chase it. Be bold and make the first move is also confidence, right? That's not chasing, that's confidence. And I am seeing the Six of Cups, so this eclipse or this week could start the incoming calls from somebody from your past. And it looks as though somebody thinking about something that was said in the past, or, you know, remembering something that happened between the two of you. And it's bringing the two of you closer. So somebody may reach out to you, you may reach out to somebody, or you may be talking to somebody who feels so close to home to you. They just make you feel really good this week. So we are seeing turning over a new leaf in love, you know, where maybe some of us can reconcile this week. And this could be where you're making the bold move to be the one to forgive first, you know, if you're at a stalemate, or you're the one to make the first gesture, and forgiveness with somebody, with a soulmate. I would run as fast as you can. Run as fast as you can and get away from that. That is not healthy. And I'm not going to pretend it is. And All right, Virgo, we're looking at just messages for this new moon. What does Spirit want you to know here? Show the world the real you. What are you holding back for? You know, my granddaughter is going to be a Virgo. My granddaughter might be born on the same day as my oldest son, who's a Virgo, the 19th. Right now, the due date's the 20th. It was the 26th, so we thought she was going to be a Libra. No, she's going to be a Virgo. We have so many. The end of a tough cycle approaches, all right? So maybe we're still kind of closing up the past year, you know, the South Node was in Virgo, you know, even though it's in Leo now, there's still, you know, things don't just like cut and dry, stop, you know, just because a cycle moves into another sign, right? So I am seeing, though, you know, whatever you are going through, or if you just feel like this has been some pressure you've been dealing with internally and nobody even knows, right? It's coming to an end. It's approaching. This eclipse could be bringing up anything, you know, that's kind of lurking in the darkness, the things that aren't seen, the things that really restrict you, the habits, the addictions, the fears, the enemies, the, you know, the subconscious thoughts that are playing in our mind that actually are navigating sometimes our choices in life. You know, those things are coming up to surface right now. And let's see what else is coming through for you. Set your course. Number 22. Know where you wish to go, have a plan in the right direction. Cancer kind of got this energy. I don't know if I was expressing it clear enough, but it's knowing where you wish to go. So always having intentions and an outcome. You know, what's your plan? What's your plan when you're talking to somebody? What's your plan when you reach out to somebody? What's your plan with this connection that you're trying to establish with somebody? You know, what's your plan with a business that you're starting? And, you know, where is it that you see yourself going with a connection or with a job or with a school, with things going on in your life? You know, if you're asking if you're in the right direction or you're going in the right direction, you know, the answer is going to be unclear if you don't even know where you wish to go. So this new moon is setting the intentions, you know, and being clear about your goals. But also this eclipse, I think, is bringing up any doubts that you may have and any uncertainty. Things should be more clear after this eclipse too. Maybe the direction that you're feeling called to go in will be more clear as we get through the next few weeks. You guys, you know, it's okay to time that out. All right. So you're getting Ace of Swords too, and I think Cancer got Ace of Swords too. You know, I think it's the clarity that's coming in for you, a truth landing, being able to see your path clearly, and maybe even for the first time, you know, you do see a direction, or you are, and rather than waiting for clarity from somebody else, this is about you making clarity, you making the decision, you knowing where you wish to go, and having a plan and not stopping because you're waiting for somebody else to make a decision. This is about you right now, not other people and what they're going to do. This is what you need to do, and making a decision clear-eyed about your future and your goals. Now, this can be a new contract coming in. This can be somebody talking to you that opens up a doorway and says, hey, come on in, you know, or there's an application, or there's a person, or there's a place that I'd like you to go. Follow the white rabbit and follow the invitations this week. You know, we are in, you know, this energy always does. Hello, Taylor. Hello, Gons. What's up? And I mean, be mindful that a lot of different types of energy and expressions and communication comes through all the time. I try to be mindful, you know, not everybody knows what may be okay to say or not okay to say, but some things, you know, it's okay to push back a little bit, and just like you did. Yeah, you know, because that's the sensitive part about that, is that you don't know if somebody knows that it's not appropriate, but you don't know if somebody is playing a game. And if somebody's joking or playing a game, that's not funny. And then two, it does open the doorway for us to judge. And, you know, and I don't want us to judge situations. But yeah, I mean, and we don't know if that's the case. I have been quick to judge before and interpreted it the wrong way. All right, Libra. Oh, so that you've seen that before? All right, Libra. The new moon energy. Surrender to the divine. Hand it all over. That's your message. God's got a plan, and maybe the plan that you have for yourself right now is not in the stars. You know, God's got something better for you. Or, you know, the plan you have is a really good one and God's supporting you, but the timing, some things just take time. And so where can you loosen up your grip a little bit and just, you know, work on faith? It's not the most exciting job task to get, but it is one that when you start getting on board with it and just surrendering and having faith and just trying to get through every day, but not just trying to get through every day. It's more about finding the little wins every day and focusing in the present moment. And realizing that life has more to offer than these bigger things that we're trying to attain or go after. So this could be a time where you're being tested to trust in your faith, whatever that is. All right. Hand it all over and let it go. Now set your course. You're getting nowhere you want to go at the same time, have a plan in the right direction. So all you have to do is set the course and let God, right? So we do have the new moon here, which is working well with you apparently, in the eclipse. So it feels like, and that would make sense that it does work well with you. You know, it's relationship energy, sextile energy. You know, the eclipse may be focusing on your successes, and also money and relationships and romance and passion and joy, right? So all you have to do is know what you wish for, know where you wish to go, and have some sort of skeleton plan. But the hows, the whens, and the whys is up to God, universe, right? And you just have to know exactly what it is that you are wanting, and not just sitting around in a Seven of Cups energy, just wishfully thinking and saying, well, this could be good, but I'll just wait because maybe Amazon will drop off something better. You know, that's not always going to work. Sometimes it does work, but you know, when we're just like, let's wait and see what the universe brings us, you know. But ultimately we've got to choose, and we got to choose right wisely the path, and then let it play out for us. So anything else showing up for you this week? You have the number 22. So the moon is showing up strong for you today. And I would say, you know, the power of manifesting and setting intentions, this might be a really good, strong one for you to do that, and setting new plans to move forward. Ace of Swords for you as well, too. This is a clear direction, being able to see clearly, being able to write, being able to say it out loud. You know, you may get some truth this week from somebody. You may speak the truth this week. Somebody may make a decision. You may make the final decision, breaking the ice, or signing some new contract this week, too. But the truth is inevitable. The truth is being shown, and it's being able to clearly write down or say exactly what it is that you believe, right? Or that you want, what it is that you want. So you're getting this new start, new energy, new cycle for my Libras. I think it's gonna be more tough for some signs than others, but it looks like for a Libra, and Gemini, Cancer, and probably Gemini, Libra, Aries, Gemini, Sag would probably maybe do all right, I guess. I don't know. I'm talking on my ass right now. I was trying to go there, but trying to figure it out. All right, Scorpio, 44. You're welcome, Nature Girl. Thank you, MJ, for the jewels. I see a couple people been throwing some jewels. I'll show them at the end. Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. Messages for the new moon. Step out of your comfort zone. Oh, look at this North Node. So some of you could be North Node Scorpio. Stepping out of your comfort zone, doing something completely, you know, against your norm. Saying yes to the thing that you first say no to, you know. Disagreeing, you know, with yourself every now and then. Disagreeing with your perspective every now and then. Challenging yourself. So, you know, it's like challenging yourself to think differently, right? So it's like your first assumption isn't always going to be your truth, you know. And so just being mindful during this full moon, you know, challenging yourself when it comes to your career, challenging yourself when it comes to your relationships, challenging yourself when it comes to communication. And wait a minute, let me shuffle these again because I keep getting the same ones and I am shuffling them. Set your course and know your path. It is a new moon, so this is a good time to set your new intentions. And I'm getting for Scorpio, aim higher, you know, aim higher. It's never too late. You know, what is it? And the excuses that you may come up with, like me, it's always, I don't want to go back to school or something, and you know, at this time, and it takes too long, or to add a certificate or things I want to do. I'm so sick right now this year of going back to take classes. I always do. But I am seeing follow the white rabbit. Curiosity meets opportunity. So, you know, believe this, I did see a rabbit the other day, and I got a picture of it. It just showed up on my back porch. So even in the most random times, there could be a rabbit that shows up. And just observe, just see, maybe that's a synchronicity. Maybe it doesn't mean follow the actual rabbit, but if you get an invitation this week or you have some curiosity, rather than coming up with your own answer or assumption and shutting down an opportunity, follow it, see where it takes you. There could be somebody has a different perspective on life, on career and opportunity, or a love situation could be unfolding. Now you have the number 3, which tells me community and connection. So you definitely want to be around people and be in the loop. I see the Knight of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. There could be new romance trying to pop into some of your lives this week. And I'm seeing the King of Swords. So you could have a person of air quality, somebody who likes to analyze everything instead of feeling it. You know, it's temporary. You know, they may have a feeling, but they pull back and they want to think about it for quite some time. Maybe you feel like somebody has been a little bit distant or cold. Remember, challenging yourself to think of a different story than your first assumption. And this is also challenging your worldview. So, you know, this week as well, too, completely seeing your worldview differently, right? Challenging yourself to step outside the box and not always assume, again, that your perspective is the correct way right away. And being able to see the bigger picture is also aiming higher, Scorpio. That's what I have for you. Your challenge is going to be aiming higher for your dreams and setting the intention and knowing where you really want to go. All right. Hello, David. I got to get some WD-40 for my fan. I'm hearing it louder and louder and louder. I hope you guys are not hearing it. That's the little dings. You can hear it? Yeah, I got to get some WD-40. You're welcome, Annabelle. Hello, Mind, the Gap. right, moving on to Sagittarius. This new moon, Leo, let's see what's going on for you. What kind of messages coming through? Look at the bigger picture. Oh, this is your energy, Sagittarius energy. So zooming out and looking at the bigger picture in your situation. So whatever situation brought you here, you know, you may be too zoomed into a problem that's not there, too zoomed in that you're creating problems that aren't there, too zoomed into your situation that you're not seeing that, you know, sometimes there's just gaps and spaces between things. And, you know, our minds can play tricks on us if we're not constantly seeing validation that we're getting to our destination. And so always stop and take a zoom out and look at where you started. And that's the way you're going to be able to decide or calculate how much in time you invested into something and what you really got back from it. So some of you may realize that when you take a step back, a lot of improvements have happened, but anxiety or pressure has made us not see, you know, how many victories we had, how many wins we had. And then some of us may see when you pull back that you have been stuck in the initial stages of a situation and it's not going anywhere. And we're zooming in and we're holding on to a situation that's not growing, that's not going anywhere. And that's why there's so many problems or there's complications. So we do need to zoom out and analyze whether or not a situation that we're currently worried about is really going to get us to the destination. Is it worth what it's doing to us? Is it worth what it's doing to you? Is it something that you can let go of? It really isn't going to change the outcome. So I'm going to shuffle these ones too, because I got follow the white rabbit for you too as well, which is pay attention to any signs, synchronicities, or invitations that you may get this week. They could lead you down a new path. You know, trying to please everyone, that's a no. You know, we can't please everyone, so please know that. And I'm seeing a moment's regret, idealizing the past, fearing that you made a mistake, nostalgia. So it looks as though some of you may be feeling that you're missing something, you're missing the point, or you think you did something wrong. And do you really think you did something wrong? Or is it that, you know, like I said, you need to take a zoom out and see the wins and just realize that some situations are more challenging than others and some take more time and they don't resolve themselves overnight. So I am seeing a moment's regret, and a moment's regret can come when we don't want to take a look at the bigger picture. We refuse to zoom out. And so we continue to narrow in, which creates something that we will regret. It can be a tower moment. It can cause an argument. It can cause destruction in our lives that we could have avoided if we would have just taken a step back. So we're looking at eclipse energy, Sag, and this is going to bring up things about ourselves, you know, this new moon. Where do we need to make adjustments and set new intentions? And all right, so anything else about this new moon this week? Two of Pentacles. All right, so you do see being able to make a decision, especially if you've been sitting in a situation where things have been out of balance for too long. You may have been sitting in limbo too long. If something got started, a new job, a new relationship, you know, a new way of thinking, new way of being, a new move, new living space. But the Two of Pentacles is like, I'm still in this place where things are kind of adjusting. I'm not sure where things are at. They're inconsistent. We're in a learning period. And for some of you, it could be fresh. It could be new. So it is about just showing up day by day, that this week there could be a lot of things going on and you just got to prioritize. But on the other hand, there's some of you that need to make a decision. Where have you been sitting in this energy of not being able to move forward because somebody's being inconsistent, or a situation is taking up too much of your time, and you may need to adjust. Am I working too much and I'm not getting anywhere? Do I need to cut down my hours so that I can focus on what's important? Or am I wasting my time with this fool when I could be moving forward and there's another fool coming in, or somebody a lot better, right? So there is going to be some decisions this week about where you're prioritizing your energy. Hello, Miss Lisa. All right, Capricorn. All right, time for Capricorn. New moon, Leo. Just pulling up some messages for you, for this new moon and for the eclipse season. All right. A time for healing for you as well. Maybe a restful time. A time to take action will be coming in next for you. But right now, for my Capricorns, maybe we just need to process, just need to settle in, just need to have a little bit of a vacation, just need to, September's coming in, Virgo season coming in, and, that's when, we can get up and go and reorganize and do stuff. But right now, I feel like you got to just give yourself a little bit of space to feel those feelings that you don't want to feel, right? And where are you distracting yourself? As soon as something comes up for you, you got to find something to do so that you don't have to feel them, and I believe me, I know those moments. But this is a time for you just to not react to certain feelings. It's letting them process and letting them adjust. Now, believe, and I have strange encounters. All right, so believe in the impossible this week. Believe this is where a time for healing and a time for rest is going to show you that you're not in this alone. There are other forces working behind the scenes for you. There are, there's blessings, there's angels, there's God, there's the universe, whatever it is, right? There's decisions that you made in the past that are still unfolding. You don't have to know every single thing that's happened in every moment to feel safe. You're finding your safety when it comes to healing and processing the uncomfortable time periods that you have that feels like everybody's moving on without you whenever there's any quiet time. So believe in the impossible, and also be mindful of strange encounters this week from the fifth dimension, right? Is that show? The third dimension, fifth dimension, I don't know. All right, there could be some strange people showing up. All right, don't judge a book by its cover. There could be some information in that. There could be something, checking you to make sure if you're present, making sure that you know, you're on the right path. Sometimes we have little helpers and messengers that show up, that we have these strange encounters because they're meant to wake us up in the moment. Like I told you guys about mine the other day. You know, it's like, oh, maybe I was being maybe we're trusting, being way too trusting of our environment. But there could be a strange encounter, something that's meant to get your attention because it's a sign to come this way, go this way. Bracing for impact. I know for some of us, things are a little too quiet, and we're all kind of like, all right, what's going on here? Maybe the people around you are going through something right now, and that's why things might be a little quiet for you. We all tend to brace for the big whammy, but sometimes things are calm for us and other people need us to hold space for them. All right. So I do see the Lovers card. So relationship seems to be a big priority this week. Maybe communication, connecting, talking about plans for the future with somebody, maybe healing a conversation, or healing through a conversation. You know, you can feel a pull between you and another person. So there is love. There's always love and a soul connection when the Lovers card comes out. It's real love, but it does not define or does not guarantee stability or action or behavior changes. You know, I mean, it just doesn't. And people are people, and people are going to be people. People are people. And I do see the Knight of Cups. So I am seeing a lot of love around you this week. Maybe a romantic night. Maybe you're noticing somebody be a little bit more tender when they're talking to you, and being more approachable, being more vulnerable with you. Somebody could, you know, surprise you with a dinner. Believe in the impossible, right? You got that card. You know, somebody really trying to show up for my Capricorns. People be peopling, and they don't make sense. You know, that's funny. It's not funny, but Anne's card just had problems too. Everybody, you know. One, oh, 4. People be peopling, but we've got to remember we're peopling too. So to other people, they've been looking at us too, like, what are you doing? All right, Aquarius. That's how I was with my AC. I just went through it. I still have to get my tint and my tires fixed. But everybody's kind of either upgrading their vehicles, getting new vehicles, or fixing the shit out of their current vehicle. I think I'm a good people-in person, but apparently to some people, I be people-in, and it's not according to their people-in rules. All right, let's see. Aquarius, we're looking at the energy is gaining momentum. All right, Aquarians. Hello, Miss Rising Phoenix. All right. And we have the energy is gaining momentum. So something's picking up for you, something, you know, if you've been feeling a little bit stagnant right now. I mean, Aquarius, the North Node's in your sign. We have the eclipses going on. We have so much going on. I'm looking forward to see what your energy, what this is going to bring for us this year. And so I'm sure you're feeling something. I'm sure you're feeling something actually start to peek through in your life. You know, you might be feeling it. You can't explain it yet. You can't define it, you know, but you're feeling like things are picking up. Things are starting to feel good. Maybe you're starting to see more smiles recently than, you know, the past few months, or you're noticing people's attitudes changing around you. The energy could be picking up when it comes to relationships right now too. If you are currently connecting with somebody, you know, this is where your relationships are being highlighted. So maybe you're noticing that you're getting more of their attention. Ooh. So this card just flew. I'll explain in a second. All right, so I have two cards, right? All in a golden afternoon for you. I have inspiration, creative spark, imagination, and conception. And I have a moment's regret. So you don't want to miss the call-in. All right. There is, if you're feeling inspired, if you know there's something you really want to do, go for it. You know, we're not always going to have the energy, the opportunity to do something. Spark up the conversation, make the phone call, do the thing that that you really want to do and get going. You don't want to regret missing an opportunity right now. And I'm also seeing fearing that you've made a mistake, all right, or constantly thinking that you did something wrong, or, you know, and living in the past, nostalgia, idealizing the past. You can't change anything that you said or did, right? And maybe you are going through a tower or feel things are uncertain right now, right? But we can't keep doubting ourselves and beating ourselves up over some choice that we made in the past. We did the best we could when we showed up. And now all we can do is do the same thing now. So living in the past isn't going to pick up the momentum. But I do feel like whatever you're regretting or feeling bad about, it was perfect. That's your message. It was meant to be that way. And now the energy is going to gain momentum moving forward. And maybe what you're worried about right now is going to be like a blip, and you're going to forget about it sooner than you think. What else is showing up this week for you? Seven of Pentacles. So I can see that the delays are over this week. You may start to see an opening. Assessing whether a situation that you're currently in is worth continuing. If some of you have been very patient and, you know, in a situation, this is where you are seeing the momentum pick up. Something is coming to life and something is coming around the corner, which means that we're finally going to be able to move forward. The delays are over, right? But also the Seven of Pentacles is showing me too, you may be looking at where you're putting so much energy, and maybe you do feel a little regretful. Maybe you're like, why did I put all my energy into something and it didn't get me anywhere? All right, that's not going to be the energy that you're being asked to look at this week. We're not beating ourselves up for choices we made in the past. We're feeling inspired to make the change that we're noticing here. So rather than getting mad and angry that we didn't get where we wanted to go, we've got to try a new path, right? So this week there could be a turn-in point in your road. You're kind of taking a slight right or a left here, and your path is changing. All right, Pisces. I've been taking a little bit of a break for showing my face, just so I don't have to have the stress on me to worry about what I look like all the time. But also, as soon as I took my face off the camera, every time I put it on now, there's a problem with the quality of the audio, and I don't feel like dealing with it. I'm getting a new computer soon. I don't know exactly when, but it will be soon. And when I do that, I'll make all the final adjustments then and get back with my face on the camera. So just to answer Ryzen's question. And how are you anyways? I haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're doing well. All right, Pisces. All right, I'm going to end Pisces at 1:11:11. All right, Pisces, new moon message for you. Show the world the real you. It's time to open up the door, get back out there, and integrate. Get back out there and integrate, you know, especially if you've gone through some big change in your life. You know, you've been hiding, you've been kind of keeping your problems to yourself, doing your thing, going through a lot of processes in the background. We do have an eclipse. We have this new moon, you know, and it's like, all right, what new? This is the real you. This is the new you. This is you starting something fresh and beginning a new chapter. Maybe you're setting new goals for yourself. Now, let's pull another card. I'm going to shuffle. I keep getting a moment's regret, you know, not focusing on the past so much. This eclipse could bring up, you know, idealizing the past, like, you know, oh, things were better then, or, you know, I wish I could go back to when things were like this, or, you know, well, they're not going to be. So this is going to be where can we start a new story? You are rare and free. There are not many like you. All right, so there's a uniqueness coming through here. There's a creative energy coming through for somebody. And this is where somebody's being asked, maybe entrepreneurship, or creating something, or showing people your craft, tapping into expressing yourself through the real you, through the things you do. You could be being called to a new path, a new purpose when it comes to money, but also not being afraid to express yourself for who you are. You know, if some of you have been kind of hiding in the background, and this is your new identity, this is your new you, this is where it's going to be a freedom for you. So this full moon, I mean, this eclipse energy could be all about your freedom from always trying to hide the things about you that people may possibly be the most attracted to you. All right, there are not many like you, so obviously there's some skills you have that are unique to a lot of people, and you could really market yourself. All right, anything else coming in this week? You have 7 of Pentacles too, so it's time to get the ball rolling. And the 3 of Pentacles, if some of you are feeling stuck and don't know what to do, the 3 of Pentacles, there's always a service out there. There's always help out there. There's always somebody to connect to. There's always an advisor. There's a support in whatever area you need it. But it is time to start creating from this new place and finding, you know, especially financial freedom or independency, if that's what some of you are looking at. And that's what I got for you, Pisces. All right, things really working out. Maybe a person coming in this week that does offer some sort of assistance, creative assistance for you. All right, guys. I love you. Enjoy the rest of your new moon, and I will see members tomorrow, and I'll see you guys all on Friday with Super Chat and All Signs. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.